Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back. So it has been a little while. Something's messed up with my editing software, so I don't get to edit anything. Great. So here's what we're gonna do. So in this one, we're gonna basically just set up a quick little program. Not really a program, but get ready to set up for a program. And as we write the program, I'll explain everything. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to right click my desktop. I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call it, let's all keep it the same. So we're going to call this YT, like for YouTube, video, no, YouTube, here. Let's just type in capital ANTARES. Yes, that is my name. You're going to have my name as your folder. Now you're going to want to remember this. If you do change it, you're going to want to remember this later because we're going to kind of go to this later on. Well, inside this folder, we want to create a new folder. Call this one project. Okay, and then that's it. So now we're going to go down to Visual Studios. I have mine inside my hotbar down here. And you might have yours inside Windows. Go down to Microsoft. Wasn't it under Microsoft? No, it's not. Visual Studio under V. Visual Studio 2015. You'll click on it. Let's make this big. Underneath Visual Studio, you'll see New Project. Let's click on that. And our first project is going to be under Templates, under Visual C#, and underneath Console Application. Now, the reason why I say console app for the first one is because that's going to be the basis of everything that you do, basically. I mean, to me, it's the easiest to learn the basic things that you'll be doing. So down below under location, we want to browse. We want to go to the desktop. We want to find our folder and then the projects folder. Just double click on it and then select folder. Now the name. This is going to be the name of the project. I'm going to keep it simple because I don't know what we're going to do yet. So I'm just going to name it project. Now most people will just hit OK. Well, that's kind of wrong. For basic little things, yeah, that's fine. But I was looking it up. I didn't know this either, but Microsoft has a standard code for this, I guess you could say. It's your company name dot your technology. So like if you're making an automation app, or if you're making an extension or something, it'd be like, mine would be like Antares dot automation, and then the project name is what everybody else will see. So I'm just going to name it project, and I'm going to name this one, you can name it whatever you want, it don't really matter right now. Antares dot, don't know, something. Sure, that'll work. Actually, I'm going to name mine company dot technology name, or technology. And then the name of my project is just going to be project name. And then go ahead and click OK. You want to make sure that create directory for solution is checked. Click OK. And now I'll kind of go over a couple things real quick. We're going to go to the far left hand side underneath. Yours might be set up a little different than mine. Under Solution Explorer, I can't make this any bigger, and I guess I could use my magnifying glass. I guess I can, I suppose. It just makes my mouse weird out. So over here on the left hand side, you're going to see Solution Explorer. Right here, it has your solution, which is company.technology. Then it has your primary project, which I put mine as project name. Then it has properties, which includes the assembly info, which I've really never messed with that. There's what it looks like. Might get into that sometime. And then we have references, which are all the references that you have inside your on your program, and we'll go over these here in just a minute. Then you have your app.config, which all that's there right now is just the supported runtime is 4.0, .NET version 4.5.2. And then you have your program, which is this right here. Now this part I can make bigger, so let's make this back. To make it bigger on your screen, hold Control and then mouse wheel. Another thing you might want to do is go to Tools, Options, scroll down to Text Editor, hit the little triangle, sideways triangle on the side, go down to C#, and then on the right hand side hit Word Wrap, put a check in that one, and then show visual glyphs for Word Wrap, and then turn on your line numbers, and that's about it. So now let's go ahead and start, and I'll just kind of explain what's going on here. Using statements are here. Let me explain these first. Okay, so system is a namespace, which is basically a project, is a namespace that is embedded in your computer by Microsoft. So everything you do is going to use system. No matter what you do, it's going to use system. If you're writing an app for your computer. Can't really remember what the other ones use. But anyway, you have a system, which is the project. Then you have the dot, and then you have collections. Collections is a class under systems. And then generic is a method inside of collections. So, and I'm not really going to explain these, and actually the only one you need is system for right now. So basically what I said was system was a namespace, kind of like your project name, which is your project. That's the namespace. Then you have a class underneath it. Then you have a method underneath that. You have multiple methods inside of a class. You have multiple classes inside of a project. Kind of like a series of books, if you think about it. This would be like the author, I guess you could say. Well, not even the author. The series of books, like multiple books in a series, like Dragonlance, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, yada yada yada, you know, like that. Or movies, you know, whichever way you want to keep thinking of it. And then inside that, you have your book, a single book, inside of the series. And then inside that single book, you have chapters inside the book. And then inside of each chapter, you have text, which is your code. That's an easy way, I guess, to think about it. So I think I'll stick with that while explaining everything, because it'll actually make sense whenever we go into things like objects and stuff like that. So, well, maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll find out. But your first bit of code for today, and actually, no, I'm not going to write any code today, I don't think. Basically, what you need to know is just how to set up the program, how to set up your first program. In the next video, I'll go over some basic stuff. To get an idea, I don't have that. I deleted that one, or I deleted what I was thinking about. So that's not good. Trying to think of the way that how I wrote that earlier, but I don't remember. So that's always great. Hello AVG, I don't know why you're on there anymore, but let's go. Just a quick little reference guide. So yeah, that don't help at all. That's awesome. But yeah, basically the namespace is your project, which you have to have a namespace in order to have a class. You can have multiple namespaces, and you call these namespaces using the using statement at the top, which we're using system, which under references you'll see system, which that's how you reference them, is through the using statement. So if we had another project called something, like literally something, and we referenced it through the references, then we could use using something, and it would reference it to it. If we wanted to register a class called new inside of something, we could do register new, or register something new. And I don't think you can register an actual method. So I think that collections.generic was an actual yeah, I didn't think that would work. Okay, so yeah. Now I'm just making myself look stupid. One thing I do want to go over that you need to remember to do, because I've seen so many times that nobody does this, and then they're like, "Hey, can you look at my code?" Or I want to share code with you, or something along the lines. Or you go online and you find some open source project that you feel like you want to tinker with. This right here is important, because that's a comment. The compiler for the compilers ignore comments, and the way you comment inside of C# or Visual Studios, one way is by using the double slash, which this is a single line comment. So when you hit enter, now you're typing code. So you have to type it in again. Now to do a multi-line comment, you do a slash and an asterisk. Then you can press enter. This is a multi-line comment. And to end that, you do an asterisk and a slash. Okay. Now to comment, to summarize a method, which is another important thing that I wish people would do more often, you do a triple slash. It automatically puts stuff in there for you. To me, these are important because the main method, for instance, is the main method is the starting point for all programs. Okay. It just lets you summarize the program, and then when you minimize it, it says it right here. The main method is the starting point for all programs. It gives a quick little summary for people to read, so they know, hey, this method is for this. This is what this method does. And then it also, if you have any parameters, which this one does, this takes in an array of strings called args, or arguments. Arguments. It tells you that the parameter name equals args. Imagine that. if it would return something, I'll go into this stuff later, but we have a string, and we go string t equals blank. Okay, then we go return t. Now it returns t, so whenever this would go back to whatever method called it, it would take t with it. Okay, so now if we type in the triple slash here, oh, look at that, it gives you a return section so that you can put t. I wish I could get it in white. That'd be cool. So it returns t. Or you could say it returns a value that equals blank if so and so happens, or something like that. But I really hope that makes sense. Comment everything you do. I mean, it's tedious, trust me, I know. Be honest with you, I was one of those ones who didn't like to do it. Another thing, what I mean by comment your code isn't just, oh, I'm going to summarize the entire thing. No, that's not what I mean. So for this one, for instance, this summary would be the main method is the starting point of all C# programs. Okay. These I can kind of take away. But that one I'm going to leave. I mean, you can comment classes too. Yeah, see? This class is the start of the program. And then, I mean, you can summarize kind of what it does. But yeah, I really didn't know you could do that for classes, though. That's kind of neat. Can you summarize a namespace? Yes, you can summarize this namespace. Imagine that. I wonder what else you can summarize. Probably everything, because it's a standard thing that you should do. So if I did a console.writeLine this, okay, all it's going to do is print this to the console and then quit. Has nothing to do with anything we're doing, though. When you comment code, I see a lot of people doing this. Don't do that. Because when you're actually reading the code, you don't want to have to stray your eyes over here to see this is code, or to see what that does. And if you don't have word wrap on, for instance, if I were to go, okay, say I were to just keep typing. Now you see how it automatically went down below? If I go to tools, go to options, and a lot of people don't put word wrap on. If I take word wrap off, oh, look at that. Now I have to scroll over to see the rest of the words. No, because sometimes your code can be really long. Like if I wanted to type something really long in there, this is a really long sentence that goes past the line of sight. Okay, now if I type in my comment, I don't even know there's a comment over there. So just try not to put them on the ends of the code. Let me turn word wrap back on. Another thing that you shouldn't do, I really like saying these shouldn'ts though. Don't comment underneath the code, because the next person who comes in and reads it will think that that code is for this code, or that comment is for the code below it. I see people doing that too. Common sense would be above it. Okay, so comment above the line of code that you're writing that you want to explain, and explain everything you do. Like, even if it's a console.writeLine. So console.writeLine, this is simple. Okay. This prints simple to the console. And what that'll do is that will let you, I know it's tedious, it's annoying, it's boring, it's something you're going to hate, and I hate it too, but it will get you, it will I can't even say it. Fine. It'll make you familiar with the code that you're writing. That way, you kind of like, it's kind of like writing it over and over and over again. And it'll make sense. And then okay, so I know that might not make sense, or it does, but there's no reason for whenever I wrote it. But the thing is about this code is that, why did I pass it? Why do I have int f equaling 7? Oh, wait. Because it's practice. Or because it's a test. Okay, why do I have int j equaling 4? Oh, that's right. I could go like this because it's a test. I don't have to comment literally every line. Or, and then another thing is, need to comment this one. Why did I say, if j is less than 2 to write f? Why would I put that? Just comment it in. It's not hard. Another good one is regions. So if I typed in a bunch of code, just a couple lines of code, say, then I type in region, and then I type in some code. Okay, so now basically what I did was I explained what this entire code right here does, all the code in between. Don't overuse regions, but it's it's that simple. And then what's great about this is that because I have this here, I can go like that. So name your regions like this one right here, prints something to the console that was necessary. Okay, and then inside here, do comments. What each line of code does, if you need to, if that doesn't summarize it. See, prints something to the console that was necessary. All right, so now that I know what this does, I can click on the plus sign, and then I can see what was necessary, which was nothing. So I really hope that makes sense. This is basically like, just kind of do it this way. Another thing is, there's a lot of different variables that I'm not going to go over right now, but I'll just write them kind of in here for you. Should make that one v. And that has to equal something. So that's just 3 of them. That's 3 different types of variables. And actually, a lot of people don't even consider a string a variable. Like, they consider that a string. It's like a variable would be an integer, which is a number, a double, a float, decimal. So, and then you have the standard variable, which we'll get into that stuff in the next video. But don't mind the VAR part. Okay, variable, or let's go int. That's a number, like a full, that's a whole number, like negative 100. Okay, but you can't go negative 100.5. It's a whole number. I can't remember the beginning or the end, but I know it's pretty big. So we're going to have int n equals 0. Now let's go over naming conventions. So a single digit is lowercase. That's it. It's just, if it's a single number or a single letter, it's lowercase. You can't put int 1 equals something. You can't put a number. You can't put a symbol. You can't put abstract. If it comes up blue, you can't put it because those are reserved words by Visual Studio. I'm not even going to tell you how you can do. Well, I'll go ahead and show you how. Just don't do it. There's one way to do it. An underscore that makes it a local variable. But I'm pretty sure local variables can still be passed. Oh yeah. At. The at sign makes words that usually can't be used into a word that can be used. Let's say you're going to do a single letter, it's going to be lowercase. If you're going to do a full word, it's going to be lowercase. But if it's going to be like, okay, you can do num for number, you can do number 1, number 5. Oh, but you can't do that. So that was a hashtag or a pound sign or the sharp sign. You don't, if you're going to put another word afterwards, like, say, don't know, let's use the abbreviation for Mountain Dew because I have a Mountain Dew sitting next to me. So MTN, right, that can be used. Do, that can be used, but don't write it like that. Capitalize the second word. That way the person knows that it's actually 2 words. It's not just 1. Another thing that you need to remember is that Mountain Dew and Mountain Dew are 2 completely different things. Another thing, don't do that. I see a lot of people doing that, but it's not a no-no, but just don't do it. Use camel case. That's what it's called whenever, like my name, Tristan, Dow. See, camel case. And Terry's, Insomnius, camel case. It's not hard. Just lowercase the first letter and go on. If it's 2 letters, so like if it's ID, this, no. This, no. That can be used, and that can be used. I'm not saying that it can't be used, because obviously it can, but it's... From what I've seen, I mean, I'm not a professional programmer by all means, and I haven't been doing it my entire life, but from what I've seen, it's a standardized context. Another thing is your methods. Don't do that. No lowercase first letters. Those are always capital. There's certain other things that are capital, but I don't remember what they are at the moment. You don't begin anything with a number, and try to stay away from this. The underscore words. That's used a lot. But whenever you see that, and then you see that, later on down the line, it probably it confuses me. But yeah, what else can I argue about? That's about it. I know I really didn't explain the using statement or the namespace or the class or any of that stuff very good, but just remember that the using directives make it easier on you. I'll show you why. So with the using statement, I can type in console.writeLine. This writes to the console. I can write that. But now imagine this. Imagine you don't have using system. Now we have an error. Now every time we want to write in console, now we have to write in system.console.writeLine. No, I'd rather not do that. For instance, in order to use a list using system.collections.generic, this is how you initiate a list into your using statements. Then we can do a list of integers called I equals a new list. But without the list, now we have to type in system. Can we just do system dot? No, we can do. I forgot how to do it. Hang on. I gotta delete this. If we do a. See, we can't type in collections. System dot collections dot generic dot list string or list int I equals new. Now do you, if you didn't quite understand it before, now do you understand why it's important? Anytime you instantiate a list, you'll have to go system collections generic list. And if you don't have that up there, then you have to type it in up here as well. It's going to save you a lot. That's what it's there for. It's there to save you a lot of headache of typing all this stuff in. Well, I deleted that, so. But yeah. If you have any other questions about anything I explained here, please leave them in the comments below. I know there's a lot. Well, there's really not much, but in the next video, we're actually going to start doing something simple. And by simple, I mean we're going to write to the console. Or no, I'm not even going to start that yet. We're going to go, yeah, we'll go ahead and start writing to the console. And we're going to just simply write to the console. We are going to read from. No. Yeah, we'll write to the console and read user input. And I think that's a good place to get started. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, thumbs up. And if not, thumbs down. But if you want to see more, subscribe and request things. If you want to see certain programs being written, stuff like that, let me know. Like I said, I'm no professional, but and it'd be a lot easier if people were sitting in front of me, or well, sitting beside me, so that I could teach them or show them. Can't really say teach them, but if I could show them. Just show your aptitude to want to learn, and I'll continue the videos. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.